Spencer Bernard, sons of Brian and Katie Bernard. Eli Manahan, son of Mike and Jessica Manahan. Calvin DeBoer, son of Jeff and Nikki DeBoer. Owen Van Buster, son of Eric and Kate Van Buster. Will and Andrew Bolter, sons of Joe and Brooke Bolter. Kane Larson, son of Andy and Brenda Larson. Charlie Hepting, son of Jeff and Kimberly Hepting. Jackson Brown, son of Nicole Brown. Jesse Schwartzentruber, son of Peter and Melinda Schwartzentruber. Jackson Johndrew, son of Mark and Alyssa Johndrew. Max Rennie, son of Nate and Shelby Rennie. And our managers, Cody Raymaker, son of Jared and Christy Raymaker. Brody Whalen, the son of Josh and Tina Whalen. Brian Eichhoff, son of Dane and Tammy Eichhoff. Ethan Bosma, son of Lance and Jody Bosma. Those are your parents and your players from the 2025 Chatfield Gophers. Congratulations.
skies are clear. For the sirens are blaring. Bring on the thunder! Bring on the lightning! Bring on your Fairfield Gophers! Welcome everyone to tonight's football game with the visiting St. Charles Saints and your Chatfield Gophers. Minnesota State High School League joining together in requesting that all people attending games follow code of sportsmanship. This includes appreciation for the rules of the contest and respect for players, coaches, and officials. Excellence in sportsmanship is the major goal of the Minnesota State High School League. At this time, would you please rise and honor our flag as the Chatfield High School Band, under the direction of Ms. Katie Jablonski, plays your national anthem. Thank you. And now, tonight's starting 11. First, for the visiting St. Charles Saints, announcing their defense. Starting at a tackle, number 55, Preston Dahl. At a tackle, number 65, Monson Vector. At a defensive end, number 52, Braden Williamson. At an end, number 53, Mitchell Frenak. Starting at a linebacker, number 2, Braden Mueller. At a linebacker, number 1, Jackson Vermilia. At a linebacker, number 88, Briggs Dornan. And at another linebacker, number 19, Bennett Boynum. Starting at a defensive back, number 8, Jackson Van Gundy. At a defensive back, number 4, Simeon Hong. And rounding out the defense, at a defensive back, number 6, Cade Belger. The Saints are coached by Matt Reinhardt. And now, your starting defense for your Chatfield Gophers. Starting at a defensive end, a 6'1", 195-pound junior, number 2,
Hey, welcome, Gopher fans. Andy O'Connor along with Lance Boehm, Rick Irish, Damon Leake, Rocky Burnett, and the Dennis Geechee. Well, we come into already week 6, Lance. Gophers welcome in St. Charles, and a game on paper that should be in the Gophers' favor. But when we play these Southeast Conference matchups, it doesn't always work out like it does on paper. So the Gophers have to be disciplined still, as always.
Yeah, throw out the records. St. Charles 1-4 overall. Chatfield 5-0. One of the issues for St. Charles this year, just not scoring points, averaging 8 points a game, giving up 30. The Gophers averaging 24 and just giving up 10. So tonight the Gophers take care of business. They should come out on top.
Well, we had ourselves a good game last week, a homecoming game after that tough win, that double overtime win over in Triton. They came back and made a statement here in the second half. Offensive line really started to lean last week, and I think that could be more of the same tonight. We could see a lot of running the football this evening from both squads.
Yeah, from St. Charles, you're going to see that veer offense. You're going to see the B and C gap, A gap as well on both sides, and they like to keep that clock moving. So the Gophers, when they do get the ball, take advantage of your possessions tonight, because there might not be a lot depending upon how well our defense plays.
Right. And they do have, some of the names that you've heard here in St. Charles. Delger's still there. Vermelia, a couple of them have some pretty extensive varsity experience, but I think we're looking at a fairly young squad, I believe, for Coach Reinhardt, and of course Coach Jim Reinhardt, his dad. Coached way back in the day when I was playing. So,
yeah, over there in Rushford for St. Charles also, like you said, Cade Delger, he'll be the senior quarterback, will lead the team on offense. Also got a big tight end, Briggs Dorman, number 88. Maybe keep an eye on him to see if he doesn't leak outside and try to catch a few passes.
Well, that's not typically a real big staple, but like you said, hey, why not? Pass to set up that run. Good kick there. Nice return. Whoa. Own guy got blocked into him, and he's taken down.
Number 1, Jackson Vermilia on that return.
If I'm not mistaken, now you talk about Delger at quarterback. He's a pretty good baseball player too, isn't he?
Yeah, baseball, plays basketball.
Yep. Athletic kid, so we're going to have to keep him inside.
Yeah, definitely a threat to get outside, and if he's looking to pass, if it's not there, he will take off and run the ball.
Well, we've got a pretty good advantage defensive line-wise, I think. Speed and size, we should be in good shape. There's that little dive. And Eli Manahan's going to hit him first, along with, Mitchell Hinckley came down the line from his end position.
Yeah, that's going to be the running back, Brendan Keppel, number 13 on that carry.
And that is, if I'm not mistaken, the youngest Keppel. So
I believe so.
Yep. Got his brother who plays baseball at Mankato. His sister graduated a couple of years ago. Very good softball player herself. There's that little outside pass. A little too high. Sam Carrier back for the second week here at D-back.
Yeah, Delger looking for number 4, Savion Hong on the outside. We've said that name in the years past.
Yeah.
So
no more Christopher Hilton. So that was a big target for them to lose and graduate last year. So 3rd down and 10 for St. Charles. Back to pass once again. Delger. Over the head, pretty much uncatchable. Kean Danager in coverage. Coach Johnson.
Yeah, Van Gundy kind of doing a skinny post there, just throwing to the back side of him. Didn't have an opportunity to catch that ball, so right off the bat, 3 and out. Back to punt is number 13, Brendan Keppel.
Well, and Van Gundy, he overshot him. A little bit of nerves maybe right away in the game. Couple of passes have sailed on him. He puts that up and lets Van Gundy go get it, Nice high punt. Fair catch called for by Kaysen. And we're going to have a little bit of extracurricular on Delger on the outside. Jackson Bernard was making his introductions. along with Polikowski, I believe. And just hoping this isn't a 15-yard variety. Well, just a holding, so still 10 yards, but boy, the way it looked, it might have been a little more than that.
Well, another hot night here in the Chosen Valley. 80 degrees at game time, about a 5-mile-an-hour wind out of the south. Barely can feel it. Had to bring a fan up here in the booth, try to get some air flowing.
Yeah, go figure. Here we're October 3rd, and, you know, we're midsummer temps at night here. Back to pass, going to hit the seam.
Oh, did he end up catching that ball? Nice catch. Kason Johnson just took it away from Savion Hong.
Hong was there.
Who's
I
right
thought he
there.
had, yeah. Boy, what a nice job going to get the ball. Well, I thought they carried out a very nice fake to DeAndre over the right side and came back with the pass down the seam. So, first down just like that for the Gophers. There's a handoff to the right side. DeAndre Williams busts the tackle. He's still on his feet. He's going to cut back to the inside. Big gainer there for DeAndre, about 20 yards roughly. And another first down for the Gophers.
So big chunks of yardage for the Gophers on the first two play. That one was good for 20 yards.
Well, the sticks move and the clock runs once again. We're just we're a minute and 40-plus seconds into this is all, and Gophers with the ball. Handoff once again up the middle. DeAndre gets a few tough yards, but chunks away again. 5-yard pickup, though. I like coming out here in this, calling your series of plays. Handoff once again. DeAndre's going to cut it up the middle, drag a couple people with him, and it's going to be just shy of the goal line. What?
Just on the inch line.
Oof.
So 9 yards for DeAndre, already up to 34 yards.
So first and goal from within the 1-yard line. Single back there, and we're going to do a little tush-push version of our own. Touchdown, Carter Osk. And I want to say that's 4 on the year for Carter from that formation. So under 3 minutes into the ball game, and the Gophers are up 6-0. We'll bring in our extra point unit. Ross Stair was kicking some boomers and warm-ups when I got here, so had a really nice evening last week kicking the ball.
Yeah, was that 5 for 5? Yeah, extra points. Really nice job for Ross Stair.
Good snap. Kick is up. Oh, it is no good.
Well, we spoke maybe a little too soon.
Well, we'll see what happened on that hold. It looked like the snap was back there good. I don't know, Mason maybe just didn't get her down there exactly like he wanted it. But nonetheless, Gophers are up 6-0 with 9:19 to play in the first quarter.
Well, we're hoping Ross will have a few more attempts at that.
Yes.
So get him back on track. Well, I do have a nephew playing tonight, number 18, a linebacker. Bennett Boyum would be the oldest of the Boyum brothers.
Okay.
Monty and Megan. He's a junior this year.
Does he play baseball as well? Or?
Yes,
Okay,
he
that's what I
does.
thought. Yep. I don't know if you could talk to him at Thanksgiving if he didn't go out for baseball, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Boyum's not playing baseball. So I do have to ask, though, how's old Mitch? I haven't seen him for ages.
Same old Mitch. Looking to go. I think he's probably hunting somewhere this weekend.
Good high kickoff from Ross down to the 10-yard line. Up the middle, good kick coverage from the Gophers. Heard that one up here.
Yeah, nice tackle there by the Gophers.
That's one thing I think we've improved on from game 1 to here is kick coverage. However, last week they did rip off a few really nice returns on us, and we talked about staying home and staying in our lanes. So second offensive possession for St. Charles. We've got a stoppage in play. Let's see what we've got here.
No flags, just...
Yep. Little clock malfunction.
Well, we were at 8:37. They want it back to 9:09.
Well, Bergie's got to get out of here. He's got to feed dogs. He's got to let dogs out tonight. Wilson, one split to either side here for St. Charles. Going to hand to the inside handoff. Good spin move. Ooh, ball's on the ground.
Came out. That was number 5, Bryce Shea, up the middle on a spin move. Got hit pretty good, and the ball came out on the ground, but recovered back by the Saints.
Pretty slick little move to get through the line, though, but someone must have popped his arm as he came through. 6-yard gain, though. Biggest gain of the night for St. Charles. Yep, there's that little quick handoff over that right side.
Yeah, Mitch Hinckley there to medium first.
If you can get yourself the right angle on that, know when it's coming, you can get yourself about a 2-yard loss. But that's going to be a first down for the Saints. So a 3-yard pop again for the Saints, and
that time back to Brendan Keppel.
Boy, a little bit, similar to what we saw last week, honestly. And I don't know if the Gophers are going to switch up here, maybe stack the line a little bit more like they did, but there's that little, Mitchell down the line again. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Credit the Saints backs. They're falling forward and getting themselves at least some yardage.
Yeah, third manageable here, 3rd, 4.
Clock is running here.
We'll see Jackson Van Gundy is going to bring that play into the huddle.
So St. Charles, like you mentioned here, keeps it on the ground quite often or almost exclusively. And this is why those games go so much more quickly than what we see. Delger's going to go out, roll to his left.
And he's going to get a first down.
Good hard run from Delger.
A little bit of an option type play as they had Shea going to the outside.
So methodically moving down the field here are the St. Charles Saints. And this is what you kind of mentioned here, Lance, in the opening, is that, we're going to have to take advantage of our possessions because they're going to chew up clock. And if you're St. Charles and you're moving the ball 3-4 yards at a shot, and that's exactly, why not? Ooh. Little dive off that, well,
good job there on the inside. Led by Will Bolter and Eli Manahan.
Kind of a little bit of a thunder lightning line look here. Will just kind of swallows people up. And Eli, I think, is more of the, he's zipping into gaps. And So 2nd down and 9. We'll call it 9. Back to pass is Delger. It's going to be a hold on the outside.
Oh, almost looked like Hong came back and kind of pulled Carrier back, but we do have a flag in the backfield. I'm not sure if that's the holding variety, if we'll want to accept that.
I'm pretty sure it was because I think.
And we're going to take it.
Yeah, Sean was well, no, it was Mitch on the outside over there. He was just about around to get to Delger and got bear hugged.
So big penalty there by the Saints. That's going to march them back. Going to be 2nd and probably close to 20, maybe 19.
So single wideouts to either side. Couple of backs in the backfield. Overloaded to this side. Back to pass. Little screen action. Jackson Bernard gets out there and helps out.
Well, they got the penalty back there. Good 10-yard pickup for.
That's a nice little screen action. He just kind of slides out there. That was that far back that went out, just flared out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that was Keppel again.
Yep. So 3rd down and 10 here for St. Charles. Hand off to the right side, cutting it up. Good job converging there from the linebacking crew.
And nice job by Kason Johnson coming up there, turning Keppel back inside where all your help is at. And they're going to come out and punt this one away.
Yeah, what is really nice about having someone like, Pearson and Kason back there is if you do lose contain for a little bit, those guys are fast enough to push that back inside again. Good speed there on the back end. Let's see what this punt brings us. Another pretty good high punt. Kaysen will come up and just past the 20-yard line. Breaks there, shucks a tackle, and he's going to get another nice return.
Yeah, good field position here for the Gophers. For their 2nd offensive possession of this first quarter, 3:56 left to go.
Well, Gophers with twins wide to the far side, and Pearson and Johnson. Brooksy down here, Brooks Leah. DeAndre in the backfield, he'll get it once again. Right up the middle, gonna bust
nice
a tackle.
Burst of speed, DeAndre.
Oh, come on. And touchdown, Gophers.
Well, he just got lucky to cross that end line as I don't know who was chasing him from behind.
Hang.
But he did punch it out.
So, great job not giving up on that play, though. Because DeAndre put his head back, and he was gone. Just like that. Gopher strike again.
Yeah, 56 yards for the touchdown.
And we are going to go for the 2-point conversion here. Get that one back. Twins to the top side. Owen Collette in motion. We're going to roll to the right. Looks like we're going to try somebody in the back of the end zone. Hey, and the conversion is good. Kaysen just laid down there and grabbed that one. So 14-0 here, 3:46 left to play in this first quarter.
Well, we talked about taking advantage of your possessions, and the Gophers, both possessions, taking advantage.
Oh, yeah.
That time a long run, 56 yards from DeAndre. He kind of found the gap there, and he kind of kicked it up another notch, and he got between those safety and cornerback there in a hurry.
Well, he was real patient to find the hole, and when, like you said, once he hit it, put that foot in the ground, he was off to the races. So 14 zip. Following that 2-point conversion, Ross Stair to kick off. Who was that win against for St. Charles? Was it Rushford?
Correct. That is their one win this season was against Rushford. Yeah, 14-6. They beat Rushford. I believe the second game of the season.
Oh, kick down to the 10-yard line once again. Eli Manahan, first one to get his hands on him. Sam Carrier in there as well. And Cobb's in there as well on the kick coverage. Decent field position here for the Saints. And if you're Coach Reinhardt, I don't know if you want to stray too much. They did a nice job in that last sequence. They just could not get past that penalty. And
yeah, running the ball behind Keppel and Bryce Shea. They got a couple of first downs. Delger had a nice run for 5 yards.
Well, another 3 yards on that one. So second and, well, they're going to call it 2nd and 6. Okay, that's fine. Handoff on the left side, and Jackson Bernard is going to come up into that gap, and he will still get a couple of yards. So 3rd and manageable once again.
Pretty good penetration there by Will Bolter. He's having a battle going up against number, I think, 52 from St. Charles, which is Braden Williamson, a 210 senior center.
So a couple plays ago, I think either Williamson got him and they might have doubled him because Will was back about 5 yards, and they had him on skates, which doesn't happen often. Back to pass. Delger going to flip it out.
Oh, nice catch. Good hands there by Savion Hong.
Really good body control coming back for that ball because that was fired out there to that outside. Looked like he was waiting and just sitting down, and that was thrown out to the outside. Nice little rocket there from Delger. Chains will set, and we'll keep this thing moving.
Yeah, ball was thrown just to the outside where only he could catch it.
So first down, back to pass once again is Delger. Going to get some pressure from the backside. Swings it out, Kason Johnson there in coverage.
Yeah, they were looking for number 88, Briggs Dorman, the tight end. He had time. Nice roll out there. Yeah. Nobody was around him.
Yep.
Just a couple of guys in routes.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't just slide him out 2 yards deep every time. Let him see if he can't slip a tackle. Pretty good-sized kid. So I'm not positive you're going to have that much time every time you sit back there. So 2nd and 10. Going to pitch it out this time. Good hard run on the outside, Keppel.
Another 4 yards for Keppel. 7 carries, 19 yards. That'll keep the clock ticking. He did get out of bounds, so 1:32 left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they really get deep with that pitch, though. Then again, Delger has to, commit either, taking it himself or pitching it out. So down the line, another good gainer for St. Charles.
Well, broke through the tackle of Eli Manahan, picked up an extra 2 yards.
So it'll be 4th down, just shy of the 50-yard line. I'm just assuming they'll punt, but you never know. Lance, is it maybe you kind of catch yourself wanting to get too far upfield against this offense sometimes? I mean, and then you see that running back, he's already past that lineman.
Yeah, I think we've kind of seen it a few times.
Yep.
Like Will Bolter had some good penetration. Just you got to kind of keep that head on the swivel. I know you're battling and trying to get your hands in position there.
Good pass to the outside, and he took a good shot from Kean Daninger over there. Daninger back from that, he had a little bit of a knee injury last week.
So
Comes back.
7 yards to Van Gundy and another Saints first down.
Very rangy kid, isn't he?
Yeah, they don't have his height, but I got to believe he's around 6 foot, 6'1".
Mm-hmm. Hand off to the right side. Keppel's going to get the edge and strung out, though.
Nice
Sam Carrier.
tackle, Sam Carrier.
Oh, slamming
Otherwise,
Sammy.
he might have had a little room there to get down the sideline.
So his brother played quarterback, actually, and Brendan obviously is a running back, but he looks to have some pretty good wheels on the outside because he breaks that tackle from Sammy, and he's got some room.
Yeah, he's got some breakaway speed if he gets out and open, and it's a foot race. He's got a good chance to win that foot race. In other action tonight, Triton in Dover Yoda leads 13-7. They're now into the second quarter. Another game I'm keeping an eye on is Goodhue Cannon Falls, which will be when they start section play, which will be section 4, I believe. There's no score there.
Yeah, I think, Goodhue for sure should be at the end of the line for that section. And Cannon Falls, with the way that they can still run the ball, they should be there too. I mean, I'm not sure who else in that section is going to stop either one of those offenses.
Yeah, Norwood Young America's up there, but I don't think they're like 2 and 3 as of yet. Another game that's going on up north, Barnesville and Staples Motley tied up 0-0 after a quarter.
Well, that's news. Those two offenses are usually got themselves 15, 20 points on there in the first quarter. Really hard to tell cycle-wise up north, who's – good run. First down for St. Charles.
Yeah, quick hitter over the A-gap with Bryce Shea. Picks up the first down.
So still kind of an old school system coming in there. We bring in a wide out for St. Charles with the play every time. And they flop in and out. Hand off over that left side. Keppel, good hard run.
Yeah, another first down.
And we're going to get a penalty, probably half the distance to the goal. We had a couple guys on him, and they just slammed him. Can't do her.
Yeah, inside the majority of the time, and then try to catch that end coming down, crashing hard, get you going off tackle to get outside, and then put a personal foul penalty on that. half the distance to the goal line.
I think this is a squad filled with enough athletes. You do not want to let them start feeling good about this game. And right now they seem like they're feeling pretty darn good. Keppel to the outside, still going to get a little bit over
nice
there maybe.
tackle there, number 1. Logan Pearson on the outside, finished off by Eli Manahan on a short gain there by Keppel.
Can't say enough about Pearson. I mean, the way he hits in the defensive backfield, he's a little freight train packed into 140 pounds. I think Keppel looks like he's put together a little bigger than. Back to pass. He's going to get sacked, swallowed up. Mitch Hinckley.
Mitch Hinckley and
Ezra
Shield.
Ooh, Mitchell right downhill on that one.
Well, it must have been pretty good coverage downfield also by the Gophers, because I think that was designed for a quick hitter, as they kind of left those guys wide open as he rolls out to the right.
Well, single split to either side, 2 in the backfield, along with Delger. He'll be back to pass again. He's going to loft it up. And good job coming back and knocking that one down.
Yeah, just a jump ball there for Van Gundy, and kind of had a couple of steps on him, but nice job Kean Danager making the adjustment and picking that ball up and going after it.
Ooh, I think if Delger puts that over that back shoulder, that might be 6 for them. He threw it on this front side, and I think if he goes to the back, he might have had it. We're going to get a timeout from St. Charles after that incompletion. It's going to be 4th and goal for them.
From the 13-yard line, so I think they took that timeout. They probably wanted to give Van Gundy a little bit of break too, but just also to make sure they got the right play call in here and make sure the offensive line's got their blocking assignments down. The Gophers just need to put pressure on that, and never know. Watch the screen pass here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought maybe with a night like this that they would take, maybe in the back of their minds, the officials maybe would take one of their official timeouts once a quarter just to kind of slow things down with the heat. And we're talking about heat on October 3rd, so.
Not very often, but we are tonight.
We'll take it.
Well, 9-man, a big game down in Spring Grove. Mabel Canton 12, Spring Grove 0. Battle, I believe Mabel Canton's unbeaten. Spring Grove's got 1 loss.
Back to pass. Delger across the middle.
He's got him, but I think he's going to be short.
He's going to be shy. He came back for the ball.
So they gained 11 on that pass play from Delger to Hong, just short.
Well, the Gophers' defense bends, but it does not break, and we will go on the offensive attack once again. Well, as much as I like to throw the ball, I think we better just give it to DeAndre here on this and get ourselves out of the shadow of the goal line.
Well, 9:39 to go here before halftime. Yes, let's run a little bit of time off this clock.
Yeah, I think we've had our time of possession cannot be over like 3 minutes. Ooh, met at the line, and he's going to stay out of the end zone, but good job with the penetration there from St. Charles.
Number 52, Braden Williamson, untouched. Says hi to DeAndre, but DeAndre still gets out of the end zone, back to the line of scrimmage.
Pretty good job getting that handoff off, honestly, because he was right there. As soon as he had nowhere to even cut on that one. Officials timeout. Looks like Logan is going to have to come off or something here. Simon Erding will come in for him. Stacked over on that left side with a single wideout over here. Going to run to that left side. DeAndre's going to break a tackle. Oh, good hard run. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 5, maybe 6.
So big 3rd down play here for both teams. If St. Charles can get a stop, they should have pretty good field position. If the Gophers can get a 1st down, they'll keep the clock ticking. So
Well,
you
that's
got number 9, Brooks Leah, over here to the near side.
Old Brooksy. And we're going to get a jump here and going to help.
Well, Brooks did move, but was we'll see what they called first. Yeah, they're going to call that on Brooks.
Well, just like that, here we're looking at 3rd and about 9. Not optimal from where you're at. Well, I'd say either a seam pass or a little drag route with Owen Collette out of the H-back position. We haven't seen that yet tonight. So Twins out here, Brooks to the top. Good snap back. Back to pass, and he's got him if he wants him.
Oh, through the hands. Nice touch pass there by Carter Osk, in and out.
And Kaysen wants that one back, I guarantee that. So Gophers are going to punt this one. About the time you want yourself a good snap so Sean doesn't have to run around in the end zone. So 2 returners here for the Saints, like Keppel, and is that Delger back there again? The line drive punt. And he's going to put his knee down. Just barely touched it. He had a little bit of room, too. He had those first 2 guys were flying by him.
Make a miss, but good field position nonetheless for the Saints.
Well, Lance, I think if you're St. Charles, you're only down 14-0, 2 scores. This is the way that it's gone so far and the way that they've moved the ball. Just a couple of mistakes here, and then they stopped the Gophers from getting that 1st down deep in our own territory. You got to be feeling pretty good about this here. I mean, they're hanging in there right now.
Yeah, the offensive line doing an efficient job up front. Not a lot of, or no negative plays for the Saints, and they've been getting themselves a few 1st downs.
So same formation for St. Charles. Sean Kirshner in there along with Jackson Bernard, and I believe Eli Manhan in there. A lot of activity there on that defensive line.
Yeah, pretty good strong play up front. No gain on the play, so 2nd and 10.
Well, I gotta believe here, if you're St. Charles, if you get yourself a decent gain on 2nd and 3rd down, you're probably in 4-down territory. Back to pass is Delger. Got some time. Lofts it up, and it's going to be incomplete. Tried to go for the old splash play on the go.
Yeah, good strong throw by Delger. Just overthrew Hong. Looked like maybe he got caught up with Danager's feet. Kind of slowed down there.
Good job staying out ahead of the play, though, by Kean. He wasn't going to get burnt on that deep pass. God, if you're St. Charles, boy, that little screen pass looks pretty good out to this side. Back to pass again. Pretty good time. A little quick hitter. Sammy hits him right away and helped out. That's Ezra Shield along there. Sammy, good job wrapping him up right away. It'll be 4th down and about 4. St. Charles will bring in another play here. Well, what you call, Lance?
I think they're going to go back to Van Gundy.
Just slide him out there in that flat.
No, he's not in the game. Sorry. So
oh, that's right. He other wideout
look
brought
for
the play in.
Briggs Dorman, the tight end, over on the right side.
Quick hitter.
There you go.
Okay, that's one of their youth plays, actually, if I remember correctly.
That's a first
That's
down.
that one, yeah. That end goes across hard and puts his hand up if he's ready for that ball. And good hard throw there. Quick shot from Delger. Hey, good call, Lance.
Yeah, 12 yards. And a first down.
Chains reset, under 6 to play in this first half. Gophers up 14-zip. Good spin move once again. Well, hangs onto the ball this time, and another first down.
Eli Manahan had him at the point of attack. He just spun out of that. Was Mr. Shea.
Thus far, pretty good job by the Saints offense of setting up what they want to do. I mean, they're going with those quick hitters, but then they've got enough of us here kind of on our heels just a tad. Keppel off that left side rather.
Another 5-yard pickup. So the Saints doing a good job here, marching down the field the last 2 possessions. Yeah. But I think what we see is when they get down here, most teams know that they want to run the ball, so they kind of close down those gaps up, and there's no room there. They got to go to the air.
And they are going to run off the right
Wide
side.
Open hole there, back to the right side.
Yeah, good block here at the point of attack.
Bryce Shea.
Had himself a nice hole. 3rd down and about 1.5, we'll call her.
So another big game tonight in 4A. Casson leads 14-13 over Byron. That's the number 1 team, Byron, versus the number 3 team, Casson Manorville in 4A.
Yeah, so both in 4A now. Yeah, that is that at Casson tonight?
That is in Byron.
Byron, okay. The old Highway 14 showdown. So well, it's going to be first down for St. Charles and first and goal, like you mentioned, Lance. Here they are again. Delger with a pretty live arm. I wonder if they can flip one out to the end here and see. Up the
Keppel
middle again
just
and
dragging.
Keppel. And it's going to be 2nd and goal. Boy, a lot of. So Chatfield's going to take a timeout with 3:21 to play. And Lance, the Saints are moving the ball at will right now, and I don't know what's going on as far as our line is going. If they're just taking advantage of a split over there and just angle blocking him over.
Well, that time Eli had him at the point about the line of scrimmage. He just dragged him for about 4 yards until we got some help. So we got to swarm to that ball. It's nothing too exotic on the play calling and where they're going.
So with 3:21 to go and the Saints threatening, and they are down to, boy, did they mark him at, what, the 3-yard line maybe? Ooh, Keppel's going to
Yeah.
get hit at the line.
But even so, that was a good
Yeah.
contact rate at the line of scrimmage, but able to kind of pull himself over to the left side and get a yard.
You know, the way he runs here, it's going to be really tough for us to get upfield, and you got to stay home as a D lineman with the way that offense works. But, like, he's going to fall forward and get a yard just off of that. So 3rd and goal for the Saints. Over the right side, little spin
That
move.
should be in.
Touchdown, St. Charles. Well, very nice drive from the Saints there, 14-6 now in favor of the Gophers still. Whereas the Gophers have taken very little time on offensive possessions, the Saints have had the ball.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much first half, yeah.
So Bryce Shea from 1 yard out.
He likes the old Chuck Foreman spin move, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's gotten himself out of a few tackles with that spin move.
2-point conversion upcoming for St. Charles. They're going to roll, throw to the back of the end zone, and caught Van Gundy.
So just down 6 after the 2-point conversion.
Yep. So he throws across his body, but heck, on a conversion, why not? Sam was right there. Not horrible coverage on that. It just threw a bullet in there, and Van Gundy, good job pulling that in.
And again, nice job. Delger rolling to the right side, gives himself a lot of time to look into the end zone and see who wants to throw that. Let those receivers run her out, get themselves open.
Looks like he feels very comfortable on the move. And against our D-line, you probably will feel a lot more comfortable rolling out than sitting back in the pocket in a 5-step drop. Well, we'll see our kickoff return unit here. Gophers will get the ball after halftime, but Lance, I think we've got 2 timeouts in our back pocket still. I'd really love to see us go down, get a score, go into halftime positive here.
Yeah, plenty of time here for an opportunity to put more points on the board. If you're that offense, or if you're Chatfield, doesn't look like they're too fired up over there. They need something to get themselves going, and nothing better than the watermelon style here.
Oh, squirrely kick. Going to be hopped on there by Polikowski at the 28-yard line. Well, we just about had a big play to the outside here with Case in the last possession, but
yeah, really was nothing there for the run for the Gophers that last possession. Be nice to get that going a little bit here. We're only going to have so much time to monkey around with doing the run. Then we'll have to go to the air.
We'll stack down that left side. And we're going to run it right up the middle. DeAndre's got a good hold. He's going to break a couple of tackles. Still on his feet, still on his feet.
Good hard run there, DeAndre. It's going to take a few Saints to bring him down when he's running like that.
They had him at 12 yards. They had him at 16 yards. Great run there from DeAndre. They'll reset the chains and start the clock once again. Twins to this side. DeAndre will reset. We'll run it to the right side this time, and he's got blocking set up. Going to get to the corner and tackled inbounds, but another first down for Chatfield.
Well, I think DeAndre might have been a little gassed there, but a nice job getting to the outside, finding some space.
A couple of really good blocks.
Putting the stiff arm on Shea and then just hanging on to that ball. He did have the one fumble last week.
So down to the 25-yard line of the Saints in 2 plays. Twins to the top. Owen Collette will reset to the left side.
Ooh, high snap. Nice job, Carter, hanging on to the ball, bringing that down.
Another 5 yards, however, for DeAndre on that play. We'll call it 6, actually. And the Gophers will go and just, worst case scenario, do a little sugar huddle. Yep. DeAndre out to this side. We're going to hit a little screen out to the left to Logan Pearson. He'll break a tackle, and we're going to get probably a legal block downfield. Do we get a blindside potentially? Ooh. Yeah, Van Gundy's down. I think he got clocked coming around the corner. Well. And Chad Eichhoff will come over to the Saints sideline to take a quick look at Van Gundy.
So that'll march him back quite a bit here. Another spot foul, 10 yards.
So 2nd down and 12. Well stacked over on that left side. We're going to hand off to that left side. Got some blocking set up. DeAndre's going to break a tackle. Breaks another one.
Oh, just about in. DeAndre's going to do this by himself.
All the way down to the 3-yard line. Well, actually, yeah, 3-yard line. Well, some really nice, hard running from DeAndre in this this possession.
Yeah, he's ripped off 30, 17, 7, and now 24 yards. Takes us down to the 3-yard line.
He'll get it again right up the middle. Touchdown, Gophers. Well, that's the way you cap that drive off there. It'll make it a 20-8 ball game. And Ross Stair will come on with the extra point.
Well, we said we needed a little spark before halftime. The nice thing is we ran off a bunch of time on the clock and we scored.
I think that's very important that we did score before half. We get the ball right after half. So it's, I mean, ooh, they were across the line.
And he was outside.
Oh, no good on the kick. I thought.
Oh,
boy,
no flag.
Keppel was across. I'm pretty sure.
We must not be able to see anymore, Andy.
I don't know. So that one's going to be no good. It'll remain 20-8, still in favor of the Gophers. 28 seconds on the clock for St. Charles. Well, just got word that old Beckham is at the game tonight, actually.
Hey.
He was in town, so.
Warm enough to be out here and hang out and run around. He's probably doing some rolls down the side hill there.
Oh, most likely. Unless he got himself into a game of football down below.
Probably.
We'll break him in and let him get whooped up on here early. So Ross Stair's going to get a little extra from Coach Johnson. And we're going to reset the ball. Maybe go a little squirrel kick here. Keep her low and slow. Ooh, an onside kick attempt. And the up guy
That's number 65, and we got a couple of numbers here messed up on their program. They have 262, so I'm going to go with that was Moxon Decker.
So Decker was looking like he wanted to
Hey, he was going to house
take off.
Not quite.
So they've got, well, a couple of timeouts left with 26 seconds from their own 45, so good field position. Elger run up the middle with a bevy of Gophers. Mitchell along with Kirchner. We're going to get a timeout from the St. Charles bench.
So Goodhue, they're up 28-0 over Cannon Falls. That was with a little bit left to go in the first quarter. So Goodhue playing well. Barnesville 8-6 end of the first half over Staples Motley. I got to believe that's quite the rivalry, whatever up there.
Staples Motley, Osakis.
Rochester Lourdes 21-8 over Rushford Peterson. 27 now. Triton leads it over Dover Yoda. That is at halftime. Caledonia up 14-0 in Randolph.
Randolph Rockets.
Nice little trip for Caledonia on that one. About an hour and a half. Probably close to 2.
A pretty good drive up there, yeah. Just about like going to the cities for the most part. Well, Gophers up here. Delger back to pass. It's going to be picked off by Kaysen Johnson.
A lot of room here. And they got...
Kaysen will cut it back. And
we got 3 seconds. We should have a couple of... Boy.
Van Gundy with a good angle on him.
Yeah,
though.
I don't
Nice
know
job.
if Delger got hit on the arm a little bit. That ball just came up way short right when he released it.
Well, we had Mitch rushing off the backside, and I don't. Maybe he reached out and just tapped it just enough to make that ball flutter. We had another Saint down. Looked like they had Kaysen stopped up there about the 15-yard line. He cut it back to the inside. Well, we're going to bring Ross in, or are we going to? Yep, we're going to get Ross in for a field goal attempt.
Points on the board.
Or, hear me out, Lance.
All right, I got you. I know what you want to do.
Let's pass.
Double reverse.
The Philly special. See if that actually works in a varsity game, right?
Put Bolter as eligible. Send him down the middle.
Go back to the junior high days of the biggest kids getting the ball and
draw it up in the sand. Mabel Canton now up 18-8 over Spring Grove in 9-man action. I think Andy Larson's alma mater, John Marshall, playing Mayo tonight. JM up 20-14 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, that's for the jug, isn't it? Yeah.
Crosstown rivals.
So Mayo.
That at Mayo.
Yes, Mayo.
Oh.
Mayo's had that thing for over like 6-8 years, right?
Yeah.
So if they got this back, that'd be huge for JM. Well, Mason Erding to hold. Can't see if Heppel is in there. Yeah. Oh, no. Carter Ross to snap. Ross from the right hash. Snaps back a little high. Got it down.
Jeez.
Ross Stair.
No doubter.
Taking it. Good catch in the back there by Brody. And points on the board before half. 23-8 in favor of the Gophers. Well, getting confused with Schmaltz. He was swapping the score on us. Well, pretty a nice way to end the half there with big runs from DeAndre. if you're St. Charles, you're down a couple of scores here, but you could have been she could have been a tie
she
ball
could have
game
been
there,
14-14. St. Charles in a couple of possessions there. Chatfield not able to stop the run. Just quickly over some stats for them. Brendan Keppel, the workhorse on the ground for the Saints. 15 carries, 50 yards. Bryce Shea, also a nice first half. 8 carries, 43 yards. Cade Elger had a carry for 5. St. Charles throwing the ball 6 out of 12 for 53 yards. He does have the 1 interception right here that put 3 points on the board for us. Receiving-wise, Briggs Dorman has a catch for 12. Brendan Keppel 1 for 10. Jackson Van Gundy a couple of catches for 13. And Savion Hong has 2 for 18. For the Gophers, big half for DeAndre Williams. 2 touchdowns, 11 carries, 175 yards. And he didn't like it those couple of drives that St. Charles had.
Yep.
He wanted to do it himself. Carter Osk, 1 out of 2 for 28 yards. The one long pass there to Kaysen Johnson. And that's it. So not a lot of anything really spectacular from the Gophers. Just give the ball to DeAndre.
DeAndre's been ripping off just chunks of yardage tonight. You know, it's parents' night and senior night, and
well,
he's breaking tackles.
Should
left
say
and right,
Carter Osk does have the 1 carry for a yard, and that was for a touchdown.
Yep.
So.
Well, 23-8. If you're St. Charles, you're like, okay, let's get back, get a defensive stop after half, and we're right there. If you're Chatfield, you kind of had a bit of a lull here in that second quarter. You want to come right back out, I think, and just pound that ball right away in the second half.
Yeah, defensively, just make a few adjustments on the defensive line there, figure out the run, and we should be in good shape.
I think so, too. Well, we got ourselves a little flag football action at halftime, and I don't know if this is the fourth grade,
yep.
fourth graders.
3-4.
Wow, a lot of kids on the field right now here for this flag program. And we do have, I believe, 2 more weeks of 5th and 6th grade yet.
Yeah, tomorrow and then the following week. I think that should probably wrap it up. Usually you're done by MEA weekend.
Yep, and things have just flown by as far as that's concerned. We're in week 6 right here. So if we look forward to what's going on section-wise, Gophers are in good shape. We got to take care of business today, obviously. Next week we make that trip down to Caledonia. You just never know playing Caledonia. So let's take care of this second half here, and then we'll talk about that later. But Gophers lead this one 23-8 going into the second half. We'll be right back with second half action. half action with another short kickoff smothered at the 34-yard line by Polikowski once again.
That was Ryan Ty, number 44 this time. So the Gophers an opportunity here in the second half right away to start off, or start where they left off the end of the first half with points on the board.
Well, we talked before half. Gophers want to come out with a nice, crisp offensive series. We're going to throw the ball right away. We got Brooks Lee. Hey, Brooks Lee, a catch down to the 20-yard line, and Hunt's going to catch up to him. Brooksy, nice pattern there. Brooks' first catch in varsity, I believe.
Yeah, that was a nice throw there by Carter Oss. In stride, hit Brooks Lee, who took it down to the 15-yard line.
Well, now that's the way to make your first catch at the varsity level, Brooksy. Oh, Brooks right next door. Clock will wind here. Stack to this side. Handoff to the left side. Good wall setup. Oh, DeAndre, oh, jeez. You mentioned it here when we were talking at halftime, Lance, but he is running hard tonight.
DeAndre running hard.
Borderline running angry right now. He's just taking it to the house every run. So second and about 2 yards. We'll call it a yard, actually. Handoff right up the middle. And we're going to have just shy of the goal line. It'll be first and goal, however. So the Gophers have found something with that quick hitter to DeAndre right up the gut. They have not repositioned him left or right of the quarterback, just more of a straight-up tailback look. Carter's going to get down behind the line. Push ahead. Touchdown, Gophers.
Hey, second touchdown for Carter Osk. And again, the Gophers, like they did in that first half, start out scoring early.
Yeah, just bang, bang play, and they're right down there.
That play sparked by a 52-yard pass from Carter Osk to Brooks Leah to start the half out.
Actually just met Brooks' grandpa tonight. He's in here. He was next door. Emily's dad. Ross Starian for the extra point. Kick is up. And it is good. Here, Ross getting himself back on track now. It'll be 31-8 in favor of the Gophers. My bad. Preston Math says 31. It's actually 30. So 30-8.
We'll get there.
Well, I think we're making progress, Lance. It might not be this year or this decade, but we're getting there. By the time Hutter's here,
all you got to do is read the scoreboard. You don't have to add anything.
Don't think.
Just read.
So the drive we really wanted there, boy, she was minute and 43 seconds here into the second half, and looks like we're getting a little more traditional kickoff here from Ross this time around. High kickoff down to the 10-yard line.
Oh,
good
nice
shot,
tackle
Brendan
there,
Cobes.
Brendan Cobes. Bringing it on the kickoff.
Good job of breaking down and just making that tackle. Gophers kick coverage this evening had been solid. Looks good. well, once again, from their own 25-yard line, seems their yard line. They've been here quite often here in the first half. Run off that left side.
There's the pile moving forward. It's
Boy,
pick
he's
up
going to get himself
8 yards.
Yeah.
Is Bryce Shea.
And like you mentioned in the first half, Lance, nothing exotic. They're just handing that ball off. Really haven't seen a ton of crossbuck or second guy through. It's been, hey, we're giving you the ball. Just pound it. There he's met behind the line. Keppel's going to be driven back. And he might, well, they're going to give him the line of scrimmage. So 3rd and short for the Saints, and they have shown a propensity in the last couple of drives to picking this up. So Gophers just need to get themselves a push to the line and hold it.
And he's going to be just short. Nice job. The Gophers picking up where that running back is again. Eli Manahan and Hunter Polikowski in on the tackle.
Wasn't able to pull that spin move this time. They got him before he was able to get out of that tackle. So good job hanging on. It'll be 4th and very short, less than a yard. We'll see if Coach Reinhardt wants to take a chance here. He's taking a lot of time with that play, and he might just give himself a timeout. Nope. See if maybe they want to see if they can get the Gophers to jump. Oh, they're going to hand it off.
First guy through again, Bryce Shea. Right into the B gap.
So first down, gutsy call from this side of the field for Coach Reinhardt. But after seeing what they'd picked up here in the first half, it's a risk you can take at a 30-8 ball game with the clock running here. Oh, swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Oof. And he's going to lose a little bit.
Yeah, that was a good job there. Will Bolter and Mitch Hinckley getting off the ball in a hurry.
Back to pass is Delger on second down. Got a lot of pressure. Going to get, popped as he throws that one. Ooh, he got a shot in there. We had about the entire D line.
So only
in there.
One receiver deep there, Briggs Dorman, covered by 4 Gophers. And Delger was just going back on his heels there, just trying to get rid of that to make sure nobody else could catch it.
Well, 3rd and 10 here for St. Charles from their own 40-yard line. Back to pass once again, and Delger going to bring it up. He's got to get rid of the ball. He's going to get sacked back at, the 18-yard line.
Yeah, we do have a flag.
I think we might have
a hold.
Yeah.
As
Just
it
to
looked
guess.
like they were trying to set up for a screen pass out to the flat.
Well, again, the Saints had something cooking. They got the first down after they went for it on that 4th down play. Gutsy play to get that one, but he's going to get dragged back to it'll be 3rd down and
should be 4th down.
Well, they took the penalty.
No, I think
they did switch it to
we
fourth.
took the play.
Okay.
Took the play.
Okay. Well, 4th down, and let's see, what do we want to call this one? Subway.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Good snap. Gophers, nice punt. Fair catch called for. Good field position. Very nice punt there. Is that Delger punting as well?
I think it was Keppel.
It was Keppel. That's
good leg.
Yeah. Well, Gophers nonetheless will have a really good field position right away, and we'll see if we hit the old Air Coryell right away or
Bulldozer Williams.
We do have a lot of space over here. I wonder if we can get him wide. And reset. And hands off. And, well, we've got Brant McBroom is in at quarterback now. So up 30-8. I don't know if they just want to get him some reps or Carter is got dinged up just a little bit. Well, we've got a first cramp of the night, which is I thought would happen a lot earlier this evening.
But not after a 4-yard pickup for DeAndre.
So DeAndre's got himself 200-plus yards.
Hell, he's creeping up there. I got
there.
14 carries, 193.
He's had 2 or 3 games like that where he's just ripped off chunks of yardage. And
well, now the Triton Dover Yoda scored, so it's 20-14. Triton leads. Still about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Caledonia now 21-0 over Randolph.
So for Dover Yoda, Cooper Kellen is back. He did have a broken bone in his hand, but he's able to come back as long as he feels like he can play. He's not going to hurt it any worse, I guess. So that helps.
The JM Mayo game, it's 26-21. JM leads. Mayo has the ball with under a minute to go in the fourth quarter.
Wow. Little jet sweep action, handoff to Kaysen Johnson on the right side, and he'll get himself a first down and out of bounds. Clock will stop.
So Kaysen's first run of the night, 7 yards and a first down.
Something we've pulled out of our pockets just a handful of times this year, that jet sweep. And Polikowski back there with Brant McBroom. Stacked over to this left side. Motion again. Brant's going to take it himself. Runs into a couple of DBs, and he's going to be close to a first down. Good reps here from Brant. One Collette will come out. Ross Stair will go into that H-back position. And I'm hoping Carter's okay, Osk-wise, but maybe he's just trying to get some reps in here in the ball game. That if we take care of the ball, we should be in good shape here. Polikowski with the run, take a little jump cut, and gets
just
himself.
Some shifty moves there, and 6 yards and first down. Move the chains, keep the clock going. First carry for Hunter Polikowski.
So a more deliberate drive here for the Gophers. They've run pretty much exclusively this drive. I do it once during every basketball game. I call him Grant McBroom just to, and he laughs at it when I talk to him after the game. So back to pass. Old lefty's going to find him. Brooks Leah comes back for it. Oh, and they're going to, I don't know about that.
Call.
Did they get somebody holding back there in there?
I think they called pass interference. It looked like pretty good defense there. Brandt just kind of lost the grip as he threw that one up there, fluttered, but had enough distance.
So, yeah, I mean, he had him by a couple of steps. He was looking to go toward that pylon again, the same pattern that he got that big gator on. So after that pass interference call, and he must have just been there, but we didn't have a great angle on it either, so he could have been holding him too. Pass to the flat.
Oh, nice little move there.
Kaysen Johnson, touchdown Gophers. He's got his grandparents in one of the youth football suites tonight. So they're all here to watch him play. They usually are anyway, but they're sitting up in one of the suites this evening. So
13-yard connection. Brandt McBroom to Kaysen Johnson for touchdown number 2 in the second half for the Gophers. That puts them up 36-8.
Well, I'll plead the fifth on the score because I'm just going to go with the fact that the bulb must be out. So 36-8 here in favor of the Gophers. Ross Dare on to kick. Good.
+1.
Carry the no. 37-8 here. Favor of the Gophers over the St. Charles Saints. Well, that's how you answer after halftime there, Lance.
Yeah, back-to-back scoring possessions for the Gophers. That first one, Carter Osk on a 1-yard plunge. And then this time, Kaysen Johnson houses it from 12 yards out.
Well, what a nice little move there. He was. They had decent defense. I mean, they had him, covered pretty well out there in that flat. Brandt makes a decent pass, and Kaysen, a little jump cut to the inside and then back to the outside, and 6 points Gophers. And we still got 4:27 to play here in this third quarter. I would assume Coach Johnson talked about, taking care of business a little more at halftime. And this is a trophy game.
Traveling trophy.
Yep. High kick here from Ross. About the 13-yard line. Going to break a tackle, get to the outside. Pass Sam Carrier, and he'll get taken down. Good return, however. And Lane Schmaltz on the tackle. So good field position here for the Saints up to, we'll call it 39.
Sam was a little bit of disadvantage there. Look, he's got the oven mitt on.
Yep.
He had the left hand free, but tough to grab onto anything.
Sure, a little brotherly love text after the game from Luke and Ben. Wondering why he didn't get him. Run over the left side, hit by Eli Manahan and helped out on the inside by a bunch of Gophers. Couple of yards on the play for St. Charles, though.
Hopple into the game, number 18. Kaysen Johnson's going to take a break.
Well, we're hitting game 6 of the season, and everybody's probably starting to get a little nicked up here and there. So the more you can get, number one, you get reps for these younger guys to get used to things. He's going to pitch that one. Going to get turned back to the inside. Oh, nice sack. Oh, Pearson. I thought he was just going to turn him in, but he just went ahead and laid a lick on him. Good tackle on the outside. Pursuit by the Gophers defense. 3rd and 10 for St. Charles here, and a couple of younger guys in the defensive backfield. Do you think about going up for throwing the ball around?
See, Van Gundy's bringing in the play.
Yep. Cobb's in at linebacker, like you mentioned, Heppel's there. See, pretty much the same D line. Back to pass. Over the middle, picked off.
Ezra Shield.
With a block ahead of him and down to about the 21-yard line. So Ezra just kind of stepped in there, maybe baited him in just a bit, and was right there. And a turnover there for the Saints.
Well, they had one guy to the far side there, Van Gundy, and they brought him in kind of a little slant, and Ezra just dropped back into coverage and made a nice catch and got upfield.
Yeah, they've had to keep so much in to protect the quarterback. I think they just, like you mentioned, one guy out there, and there's usually 3-4 around him at all times. So off to the left side, and we're going to get probably a hold. DeAndre's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown, but we've got Laundry on the field at about the 20-yard line, 21-yard line.
So that holding is going to negate a 25-yard touchdown by DeAndre.
Yeah, we kind of saw that happen in the I think he had him shielded enough. Probably didn't have to, but, you know, it's kind of tough to not reach out and get a little piece of jersey. So back to the 30-yard line we go. Carter Osk back in at quarterback now. Going to hand off, a little jump. No, didn't hand off.
Got him.
Wide open is Kason Johnson. He's going to saunter into the end zone. Touchdown, Gophers. Nice play fake. I thought he handed off to DeAndre. DeAndre made a jump cut off to the right side. Nice.
So Kason Johnson's second touchdown. This time 30 yards from Carter Osk.
So the Gophers expand the lead to 43-8. We're going to bring in Ross Stair to kick this one. 2:17 to play in this third quarter. Erding to hold, Osk to snap. Back and down. And good. Ross has excised any kicking demons here in that game that he had early in the game. And he's booming them now.
Yeah, he's making some good solid contact on that football.
Well, that'll make it 44-8 in favor of the Gophers. And we can probably start sprinkling in a few guys here and there once again on the defensive side of the ball. Kind of interested to see how that Mayo one ended.
Yeah, let's jump to 5A. Let's see if we can't pick that one up. Rochester Mayo, 33-26.
Wow.
Over JM.
Came back and scored right there in that last minute.
That's going to ruin Larson's weekend.
Wow.
Rochester Century, they're ahead 20-17 over New Prague.
What's interesting about the Big Nine now is that Owatonna is like kind of coming back to the pack a bit, whereas they were the class for how many years? They've got a wonderful stadium over there now, though.
And 4A, Byron, Cass, and Manorville all knotted up at 20.
Oh, yeah, Ezra.
Shield. Oh, and the ball came out. Boy,
And
he
Owen-
put his head right on the ball. And, man, what a hit, Ezra.
Wow. That was a shot. So the Gophers offense will come back on the field. Okay, so we had probably some kick coverage discussions here in practice this week, and whatever they said, they've certainly taken it to heart.
Okay, now they make the official signal. But we don't have a ball. Who's in charge of footballs over there? There we go.
Here.
Brody Whalen.
Brody. See who we've got in at running back here. Is it Paulus?
Yes.
So Gavin Paulus in there running back here, getting himself some reps as well. Down a good hard run down to the 10-yard line and a first down for Chatfield. So under 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. Gophers knocking on the door once again at the 11-yard line. We'll hand off once again to
Same
Paulus.
spot.
He'll get taken down. Good enough for the first down, though. Couple of yards on that one.
So Gavin, he's a senior, 5'8", 175.
Well, you certainly have to get people into the ball game here, get them some reps, because you just don't know. We'll fake that handoff. Carter Osk will take it himself over the right side, gets spun around. Into the spin cycle.
Spin cycle is right. But forward progress is going to give him 4 yards or 3 yards on that pickup.
Well, I can't remember who brought the cracked chicken tonight over in the next room, but boy, that's pretty darn good.
Schmaltzy.
He's a catch.
He's a crock pot machine.
He is. Hand off to the right side again. Paul's going to
Ooh.
try to bounce to the outside. Nothing doing. Good pursuit by St. Charles. Wanted to get out there. Probably should have just cut that one up right away, but
Loss of a couple.
bring up fourth down. Gophers will keep their offense on the field. Well, we're going to wind this thing down to the end of the third quarter, head to the fourth quarter. Gophers up 44-8 over the St. Charles Saints after a really, really nice third quarter for Chatfield. Couple of big defensive plays for them, and the offense just decided they wanted to roll in the third quarter.
Yeah, 3 scores
job.
for the Gophers. Carter Oss, Kason Johnson twice. One on a 12-yard and the other 30 yards.
Yeah, so
And good defense by the Gophers.
Yep. Whatever the coaches talked to him about at halftime, she was the right message, obviously, and Gophers came out much more fresh in the second half. They found a couple of times there that second quarter there that they were a little even keeled and decided to come back here third quarter and make a stand, and they sure did it.
So Triton leads Iota 28-14, end of the third. So still time there for Iota to come back.
I want to say it was their tackle cancer game tonight in Iota, I believe. So Triton actually is on the road the next 3 weeks, or this week, yeah. The rest of the season, I think they're on the road.
Ooh, 9-man, Spring Grove clawing back into that one. 18-14, Mabel leads.
Ooh.
Some time left to go in the third.
Ezra Shield in the backfield now. Right, he had that little drag route. Ooh.
Nothing.
He was right there as soon as he threw that ball. Good defense, just kind of sliding out and recognizing that play. Owen stayed pretty flat on that. I think he probably wants to get just a little more depth and try to cut that off sharper and see if he can't get that guy on his inside shoulder so he's got a spot to go to on that outside. But Gophers will go back on defense here. Ross Starin at linebacker.
Looks like they're going to have a new quarterback in there. I think number 1, Jackson Vermilia. He is a junior.
There's that little cross action, and everybody was waiting for that. Loss on the play of about 1 yard. So Vermilia seems like he's been playing. He's been on about every team I've seen play in the last 5 years in St. Charles. So unless he's got relatives or.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Good job stretching that out by the Gophers defense.
Yeah, Bryce Shea with maybe 3 yards on the carry.
A little quick conversation there with Mr. Hinckley, Matt, downstairs here at halftime.
Got the winning bid on the booth.
Yeah. Yep, talked to him. Harvest is going well.
So the Lady Gophers playing volleyball up at the Burnsville High School win 2-0 over Woodbury in their first game. Now they play at, well, they probably just started 8:45 against Minneapolis Washburn.
You know, a team really scares me in the section is Caledonia. They just don't look like they're phased by anything. They don't get too high, don't get too low. They just do.
Yeah, they got some height and they've got some hitters.
Yeah. Keppel back to punt. Another good high punt. Back. Case
nice
is going to take it low.
Logan.
Oh, Logan Pearson is going to cut back and change field. Cut it up, break a
stays
tackle.
on his feet. Got a good
Going to get a block from Sammy, and they're going to call it. Well, we had a lot going on. I think Sammy probably going to get caught on a what they term a blind side. Just enough there. Oh, we got Delger down here on the bench. I didn't see him there right away.
Yeah, he's been, looks like he's icing maybe a knee. Hopefully it's just a bruise. We might have multiple fouls unless, they're the same.
Well, yeah, we had.
Putting them there. Here we go.
We had a little scrum going at the hash marks, and then we had on the outside. And we're going to move it back.
Block in the back.
Okay. So Sammy, I'm assuming it was on Sam on the outside here, but he must have just barely got.
So it looks like we're going to bring in the B squad. Brant McBroom back. We need a running back maybe.
Yep, here
there
comes
we go. Cobes.
We'll hand off to the left side. Cobes has got a little block out there. He's going to bust a tackle, and a good pickup for him.
Oh, Bennett Boehm on the tackle on the outside.
Bennett. You know, I think what Monty hangs out over on the first baseline of every baseball game, doesn't he? I think back there.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I've met him before. Okay. Good run up the middle by Cobes, just straight up the gut.
Yeah, nice blocking up front. Cobes, I think, thought maybe he was going to get hit as he entered the line of scrimmage, and nobody was there. And he was able to run downfield for another 5, pick up a 10.
Well, Brandt back in with the play.
Byron now takes the lead, 27-20 over Casson Manorville. Still plenty of time in the fourth quarter.
Their run once again up the middle, and another good gainer, 5 yards. Most importantly, the clock is just going to continue to run. Actually, a couple of Deckers yet over there, aren't there?
Moxon Decker, yeah, number 65.
Ross Stair will reset at the H-back position. Cobes will get it. He'll cut it back up the middle, and a nice gainer and another first down. So Brendan, sorry, Brendan, if I called it. Good patience getting to that hole and just cutting it up.
4 carries, 28 yards.
So Gophers up the line, a little stack formation over here. Jet sweep action. Brandt's going to take it himself up the middle.
He's got some room.
Come on, Brandt. Touchdown, Gophers.
17 yards for Brandt McBroom and a touchdown.
Boy, she really opened up for him there, didn't he? Nice blocks up front for him. That'll make it 50-8 in favor of the Gophers.
Yeah, the old jet sweep action kind of got the defense going to the far side, and Brandt found some room right up the middle.
Well, Ross Stair will come in. Well, no. Yep, he's just getting back for his tee. He'll set that down. Simon Erding once again to hold. Carter Osk with the snap. Snaps back and good. There you go, Ross. Now he's on track here. Nice second half of kicking here for Ross. Well, we'll make it 51-8 in favor of Chatfield, and boy, they've gotten about whatever they wanted to do here this second half. I think they just wore on them, quite honestly. Really leaned on them.
Well, a couple of drives there where they just marched down the field running the ball against the Chatfield defense. Kind of woke them up as we got that ball just before halftime with about 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. DeAndre Williams on a bunch of long runs took us all the way down the field. And we punched one in, and then just right towards the time expiring, Kaysen Johnson comes up with the interception, goes down the field, and we get a field goal. So I think the tide shifted way back to the Gophers after those two possessions.
Yeah, you look there, St. Charles gave the ball up with minimal time on the clock, and then we had a couple of big plays like you mentioned, but wow, they were right there. They were within 2 scores. They could have, easily punched one in themselves. They just have had trouble, like we mentioned, getting the ball across the goal line. So,
in that 9-man game, Spring Grove takes the lead, 20-18 over Mabel Canton.
High kick there from Ross. Taken at the 14-yard line. Good block on the outside. Lane Schmaltz hits him first, and Heppel along with. Oh, we got extracurricular again. I don't know if we got a hold or what happened.
Face mask?
Face mask, okay. So a couple of penalties here that we could clean up a little bit, but better coverage kick-wise here overall, I think.
Personal foul, face mask.
Well, 5:26 to play, and that'll be about one of the only times this clock stops there is just for the change of possession there. So up to the 42-yard line. For the Saints. Well, like we're going to timeout on the field from the Gophers, and I don't know if we were some issues getting what personnel we wanted on the field. Little Foo Fighters to end the game.
Yeah, we got 10 out there.
Well, we obviously are going to be shielded from a lot of weather this year, but who'd have thunk it was going to be high 80s on October 3rd and 80 degrees at kickoff. And even now, we don't have any dew on the field, which is
nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's just wild, yeah.
And credit to Josh Whalen for keeping this field chalked up or sprayed up, whatever, painted up. Looks really good.
The run off the left side is going to get chased down. Slips one tackle. Lane Schmaltz will make the tackle on the outside after a gain of, we'll call it 4 yards. Thought Heppel had him for a second in the backfield, but he slipped that little shoestring. Hand off the right side and hit right away. Woo.
Tucker Stair, number 65, in on that tackle. Nice job coming from the backside.
Yeah, just came straight down the line. Good job pursuing. Clock will continue to run, under 4:10 to play. Going to bring their game in. Colin Jack into the game over here on this right end. So with the pitch, it's a deep pitch, and we're going to string that one out. There's Tucker Stair again.
Yeah, Brendan Colbs and Nolan Hopple in there were the first ones. Kind of made him cut back up.
Well, they had that tackle coming from the backside, and good job in pursuit. So back to receive is Hopple. And it's 4th down and about 5 yards. Back to pass. Out to the flat. And he's going to be taken down, but first down.
That was Jacob Howitz out there on the coverage, number 19 for the Gophers. Caught there by number 7, Drayson Meldal for the Saints. First catch for Meldal this evening.
Good pass to the outside. Good control pass there. Clock under 2:20 to play in this one. Gophers lead it 51-8 over the Saints. Handoff over the right side. Boy, good gainer.
That's Bennett Boyum running the ball a little bit faster than his dad.
Well, Lance was the quickest Boyum.
I don't know if any of us were really quick.
I don't know. I just like to start things between you and Mitch, really, for the most part.
And actually, Mitch is here. I thought he was hunting somewhere, but he couldn't remember which weekend he had to go hunting, so he came here.
Ooh, almost dragged down. Hit a couple of times, still on his feet. And a first down. Wow.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling is
Good
Jackson
job.
Vermilia. Get that first down, a couple of tackles.
Great run. So St. Charles having a pretty successful drive here to wrap things up under a minute to play. He's going to take it himself up the or off the right side. Cobb's in on there and another tackle.
Got a lot of numbers this evening from St. Charles. It's not listed on their program. I don't know what happened.
Ooh, run up the middle. He's going to get, well, Lane Schmaltz is going to drag him down finally.
About 15 yards for Bennett, almost. Getting close to the end zone.
Well, clock is going to continue to run, and they're going to be content to just run this out, it looks like. Thought Mr. Reinhardt maybe take a timeout and try to draw something up and punch that in, but Gophers stay undefeated on the year and a 51-8 ball game over the St. Charles Saints. So let's just
we'll go over the Gophers stats here. Throwing the ball, Carter Oss, pretty efficient. He was 3 of 5, 110 yards and a touchdown. They were a 28, or excuse me, the touchdown was 30 yards. He had 28, 52, and 30. Carter had a couple of carries, 3 carries for 5 yards. 2 of those were for touchdowns. DeAndre Williams, a nice job on the ground. 14 carries, 193 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Polakowski, a carry for 6. Kason Johnson, a carry for 7. Brendan Colbs came in late here. He's got 4 carries for 18. Brant McBroom had a touchdown run for 17. Gavin Paulus had 3 carries for 12. Brant McBroom he was 1 of 1 for a touchdown throwing the ball, and that one came to Kason Johnson, who had 3 catches for 71 and 2 touchdowns. And Brooks Leah had the one catch for 52 yards. So the Gophers offensively, as they get the traveling trophy, a good night offensively and a good night making some adjustments defensively, as St. Charles twice or 3 times actually down in the red zone and didn't come away with points.
I thought, I mean, overall, I thought their offense moved the ball pretty darn well. They just could not punch it in. Just when they needed that extra few yards, the Gophers seemed to come up with a play. And then he had the big hit on the kickoff in that fumble. When they were, there were still 3 scores, but, things just kind of snowballed from there in the second half. And our offensive and defensive lines once again came to play in the second half.
Yeah, we probably gave up a little bit over 100 yards rushing tonight, but a lot of those came in that second quarter where St. Charles marched down back-to-back possessions deep into our end zone and actually scored the one time. So a nice job making the adjustment at halftime and coming away with a victory tonight.
Yeah, so the Gophers go 6-0 on the year. Another nice win for them. They cleaned up some things tonight. Of course, always things to work on. Some penalties you probably would not like to take, but it actually, the score's 51-8, but I thought it was a pretty physical ball game tonight. St. Charles brought it.
Yeah, playing hard. St. Charles coming off a loss, probably had a little sour taste in their mouth against Triton, came out here, and actually that first half gave Gophers everything they could ask for. They played well. They moved the ball defensively. They just had trouble stopping DeAndre.
Well, we go 6-0. We got 2 more regular season games. We go to Cal next weekend. They took care of business up at Randolph. I don't know for sure what kind of team the Rockets are up there, but Cal, we're getting toward the end of the year. They've started to figure some things out. We're going to have to play a clean ball game down there, and it's down there, so things are different.
Definitely be a tough game going down to Caledonia. When these 2 teams meet, always something's on the line. So let's go down there and give them a battle.
We will have 2 really tough games, I think, to end this season. We go down to Cal, then we go up to Pine Island.
Yeah, and Pine Island was winning 40-something over Austin tonight. So they've had a good season.
Yep, they've got themselves a couple of skill players that are real tough and shifty to boot. So nothing's a cakewalk from here on out. Nothing ever is. And I've got to tell you, the Gophers made me eat crow a couple of times. Here I thought early in the year, boy, every game's going to be a 1-score game. They've come out and they've really started to roll during games and kind of get that momentum going. So it's been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure what to expect here after the first few games. I knew they had some pieces, but they had to find their way too. They graduated a lot of kids last year, in the last few years actually. So this is a whole new ball game and a whole new ball team really, and they're making their way. They're making a name for themselves.
They're improving each week,
yep,
so that's the main thing that you want to see. It's not how you start the season, it's how you finish it.
Yep.
And progressively we've gotten better each week, and it's fun to see, fun to watch. So we just hope we can keep that going.
Yep, keep everybody healthy and winner out here. Just keep playing better ball every week and adding little tweaks here and there. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. A couple of nicks and bruises here along the way, but so far nothing crazy, which you just never know with football. But anyway, here Gophers take this one 51-8 over the St. Charles Saints in what is a trophy game every year, obviously. So for Lance Boyum, Rick Irish, Damon Leake, Rocky Burnett, and the Dennis Irish, I'm Andy O'Connor. Good night, all.